I'm a firm believer that happy colleagues produce happy guests. So if I've got happy staff, I've got 300 staff who work at this hotel. So if we've got happy staff, they'll go that extra step to make my guest experience pleasing. And that's very important to me as well. And literally myself, I treat them all as my family.
Hello, my name is Renae Leith-Manos. Welcome to this podcast, Where To From Here, featuring conversations about luxury travel and how it's changing in every pocket of the globe. So today we're going to Auckland to the Park Hyatt. It opened in 2020 and is one of many luxury properties and restaurants that are now in Auckland, making it a fantastic place to visit. I'm here with the General Manager, Brett Sweetman. Welcome.
Kia ora, Renae. Nice to see you.
Lovely to see you too, and I will see you in person really soon.
Yes, we look forward to that. Next week, we'll look forward to showing you Auckland, showing you our amazing hotel and what we have to offer.
Yeah, can't wait. And look, I have stayed and reviewed a number of Park Hyatts, and I have to admit, they're kind of a bit of a favourite. We have a beautiful Park Hyatt here in Sydney, where I am today, right on the harbour. What do you see as the really secret ingredient that differentiates this sort of almost boutique, isn't it, luxury hotel brand from so many others?
No, it is. It's the consistency. We really pride ourselves on whether you're in Sydney or Auckland, Beijing, Shanghai. It's that consistency experience, that personal experience. We always say personal is luxury here at Park Hyatt Auckland. And it's really meeting our guests, really interacting with them and knowing their needs when they stay with us. So that's what really differentiates us from other hotels.
And where are most of the travellers and your guests coming from these days to stay at the Park Hyatt in Auckland?
Yeah, most of our guests come from the North American market. That's very big for us, and starting to see a bit of Southeast Asia market picking up as well. We're very fortunate in Auckland. We've got 5 direct flights into Auckland, and over the summertime particularly, large demand over the summer period.
No, but where are they coming from? There's 5 direct flights from where?
So those flights are coming from Houston, Los Angeles, New York, Hawaii, and Dallas. So no, we're very lucky to have that reach into that North American market here in Auckland.
And Southeast Asia, where specifically are they coming from?
At the moment, it's mainly Hong Kong, Singapore. We haven't really yet seen that Chinese market travel yet. So we are waiting for that. That's a big opportunity for New Zealand, because New Zealand is a destination for those markets, given our beautiful landscape and what we have to offer. So we're looking forward to that Chinese market hopefully come on board towards the end of the year.
And what are they coming for? What's the main reason that travellers from America or Southeast Asia come to Auckland for?
No, look, they're coming to New Zealand for the lifestyle, for the environment. South Island's a big attraction. So generally, international guests will come into Auckland for 3 nights, have a look around Auckland. Waiheke Island's a favourite with all the wineries. There's world-class wineries over there.
I'm going over to have a look.
Yes, definitely. There's probably 3 or 4 main international wines over there, which have some good reach. So that's very popular. And with us being on the waterfront as well, we've got great water activities which we can do whilst here as well. Then people will generally travel down to South Island, down around Queenstown, Christchurch area. So there is a lot to do for a 2-week window in New Zealand.
And I remember that New Zealand was really famous for being a location for movies to be filmed. Is that still the case?
Definitely. It has been over the last probably 12 months. We've seen a lot more producers come down to New Zealand. Once again, it's for the range of landscapes, the range of environments that we have to offer here, whether they use the nature or whether they're using the studios here in Auckland. We've seen a good uplift in that over the last 12 months.
How has the upscale restaurant scene in Auckland changed and evolved in recent years?
No, so I've been here for 5 years. So I came over 5 years ago to open the hotel.
That was from Australia, wasn't it?
Yes, I came from Melbourne prior to this as well. So the restaurant scene has changed a lot here in the last 10 years. I'm not saying it's up there with Sydney and Melbourne, but it's definitely following in that direction. A lot of influence coming from Sydney and Melbourne. A lot of celebrity chefs looking into Auckland to try and drive additional business through here as well. So it is slowly improving, and it's getting there as well, which is good. There's probably main areas being the Viaduct area, Britomart, Wynyard, there, and Ponsonby. So there's various pockets within Auckland, really, who drive that business and drive that environment.
And what made you leave Melbourne? Because when you talk about restaurants, I mean, Melbourne has, a plethora of exceptional food and wine, culture. So what was the incentive for you to leave?
No, this hotel, to be honest with you, this hotel is a flagship for Hyatt. We're very proud to get back into the Auckland market there as well, and being involved in construction. So I've been here 5 years now. So 2 years has been construction, working in designing the hotel. When I started here, it was no roof, hard hat, steel cap boots, dealing with construction team and getting the hotel to where it is. So now it's probably like a little baby to me as well, because I've gone so far on this journey. We've had a COVID environment, we've had a change in lifestyle throughout the world, but we've come out of a great spot, and we're in a really good position at the moment to leverage the international market.
It's interesting because the role of a general manager really is very diverse. I mean, you're talking about, managing the construction of a hotel. I mean, there's no limit really to the responsibilities that a general manager can undertake, as the custodian of a 5-star luxury hotel.
No, it makes it very exciting. It really does. I like variety. I've generally moved 4 or 5 years. I've moved around. I was in Dubai for with Hyatt, back into Melbourne, now Auckland.
Did you work at the Park Hyatt in Melbourne, or which one?
I did, yeah. So I've been very fortunate. I've had beautiful hotels along my journey. I was at Park Hyatt Auckland, I was at Park Hyatt Dubai, Park Hyatt Melbourne, Park Hyatt Auckland. So I've been very fortunate to have great properties. And the good thing is, with the Park Hyatt brand, we're only 195 rooms here. So every day I'm meeting with 5 or 6 guests personally in the lobby, seeing how their stay is and just interacting with them as well. So, and that's what I enjoy about the Park Hyatt brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And what made you get into the luxury hotel business in the first place?
Yeah, so my dad was in hotels, so I sort of grew up in the environment. So my dad, I was 4 when I moved from Adelaide across to Melbourne. My dad moved, and he was managing the Windsor.
I grew up in Adelaide.
Oh, did you? There's a lot of us from Adelaide who are no longer in Adelaide now. It's quite ironic.
There's a lot of us from Adelaide who are not still in Adelaide. That is a very true statement, Mrs. Sweetman. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Have you been back? Have you ever been back there?
Honestly, maybe 8, 9 years, I would say.
Right.
Other than aunties and uncles who are there, still there at the moment. No, I always say Adelaide's nice. I hear it's changing, so I do look forward to going back into Adelaide.
There's a great food and wine culture, and the central markets is a highlight for me. But luxury hotels, it's sort of, there's a couple of choices, but it's a small country town, a lovely place to grow up.
No, I agree. So I was 5 when I moved from there to Melbourne. We still went back regularly to see grandparents, etc. And so my dad was in hotels, followed that whole hospitality path, and I grew up in that environment.
Was he a GM?
He was, he was general manager. There was a hotel in Melbourne many years ago. I'm talking 40, 45 years ago. Hotel of Australia. He also managed the Windsor Hotel, which is a bit of an iconic hotel in Melbourne.
It really is. It's a classic. I often stay there, and it's still beautiful. Like, it's just high ceilings and
So it's still the iconic hotel in Melbourne. So Dad was there 45 years ago. So I grew up in the environment. He was always working, meeting guests, telling me about stories. So it inspired me to move in that direction. I did a Bachelor of Commerce at a school when I started university. And then I took the hospitality path. So I've been with Hyatt 20 years. And it's been
lucky to have you for 20 years. That's wonderful.
No, it's been a good journey. Hyatt's a great brand to work for. They've been good to me. And I've had some amazing opportunities. So it's been pleasing.
Have you got children?
I have. I've got 2 daughters who are now 16 and 18.
And are they following in your footsteps? That's where I'm going. Like, are we going to have a 3-generational luxury hotel family potentially for you?
That's a very good question, Renae. It looks like it may be the case.
Wow.
So both my daughters started schooling in Dubai, came across to Melbourne, and part of my role in Melbourne was living in Park Hyatt Melbourne for 4 to 5 years.
You lived on the property.
I lived in the property. It sounds very glamorous, but it can be quite demanding.
Yeah, it's quite common because I know that when I reviewed Jakarta and that's a very new property and a stunning Park Hyatt,
Yes.
but the GM at the time was living there, and then he actually built that very much like what you've done.
Yes.
And he's now in Japan, in Tokyo, in the Park Hyatt there. But they actually built an incredible house, like as part of the hotel structure for the GM. Was that the case when you were living there?
Frederick was very well looked after, I must admit.
Lovely. He's
in
so
Melbourne,
lovely.
no, in Melbourne, I had a very workable 98 square metre apartment, which we lived in as well. But hospitalities can be quite demanding in terms of meeting and greeting guests, VIP guests. You've got your celebrities who come in after hours. They come in on the weekends. So living in the hotel does have its benefits to be very close to the operation, but it is very hard to remove yourself from that. However, my girls saw that environment and they've lived in that environment and they enjoy it. My oldest daughter wants to do hospitality or maybe do sports stadium management, but it would definitely be something where she's managing a group of people and managing a facility. So she's crazy, some people may say, but as long as it keeps you engaged and passionate, it's great.
Now, I want to know, when you general managers live in at these gorgeous, beautiful luxury hotels, how often do you get room service?
I said to the kids once a week. That was all I let them have.
Once a week? God, we get Uber Eats in my house more than that. That's
no, I didn't
amazing.
want to spoil the kids too much, but yeah, once a week we'd do that as well. And there's a lot of quality controlling that goes on in the restaurants and all the various areas and when you're there as well. But the kids did enjoy it. They embraced it. They got to know the chefs back of house and they got to know the housekeeping team. And I made a real point of them engaging with the team as well. So they all became my family whilst I was living there as well. And you have to make the best of the situation and live in that environment. And
100%.
it was pleasing.
So are you living in now in Auckland or not?
No, I'm very good. I live 20 minutes away from the hotel.
They say that's a better mental health balance. That's what most of the GMs that I speak to sort of concur after a while.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. It's good to get away from the hotel and just get away from time, even though obviously emails and phone calls, but it all comes back to passion. And it's a passion we all have, and I don't see it as a job. I see it as a lifestyle, and I enjoy every day.
100%. And tell me, what is Auckland doing about sustainability? And, in the hotel business, in the restaurant business, is that a big focus?
Yeah. Oh, a massive focus, massive focus. New Zealand as a whole pride themselves on their sustainable approaches to what they're doing. Us as Hyatt, we're focusing on it globally. We focus on it here at the hotel. For example, there was when we built the hotel, there was a condition we had to have sustainable services. So we've got solar paneling roof. We've got solar paneling panels on our rooftop. All our toilets flush with recycled water that's caught off the rooftop into tanks through there as well. So we very much sustainable about the food we use, where we produce the food, where it comes from. It's very important that we don't over provide food for events and have too much wastage through there as well. So it's such a big focus now for the whole industry globally. But New Zealand very much pride themselves going from electric cars, which they're pushing here in New Zealand, and basically even just the day-to-day living with all different recycling techniques.
Yeah, interesting. And then the other big topic that we're talking about with a lot of luxury hotels is, of course, wellness. And New Zealand has a history of creating some of the most beautiful beauty products, often from people's garages, very bespoke and at the markets. How about the Park Hyatt's wellness offering? Has that changed in recent years? And what are you offering now?
Yeah, so look, we're very lucky because we only opened 3-4 years ago. We can really understand that wellness piece and get it in the right environment. So we've got a wellness and spa centre, 7 treatment rooms, and our spa manager there is very focused on wellness. And even to the point over summer, we offer complimentary yoga classes to our guests once a week who are staying with us as well. And that's very popular. We've got some great deck spaces where you can see the sunrise and there. Even with corporates traveling, we are seeing a lot more corporate travelers. Gone are the days of returning back, going to your room, doing your emails, having your in-room dining. a lot more people do want that wellness piece. We're offering walking maps around the area. We've got bikes which guests can use if they want to go for a bike ride around the area. So there are a lot of good options which we do through here. Not only guests, we also focus on wellness for our colleagues. It's very important, and obviously hospitality can be demanding sometimes. So it's very important that we give them those opportunities. We celebrated Wellness Week as a global brand 2 weeks ago at Hyatt. And we had some different initiatives and different interactions. So it's a big point, and I think it's very important now because the world is moving quickly. Expectations have grown so much about being available all the time, whether it be on email, WhatsApp, WeChat. My goodness, there's so many platforms now where we keep. So it's good for people can take some time out and regain their thoughts, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brett, what's the biggest challenge of your job in 2024?
Yeah, probably the biggest challenge I have is consistency for providing the service that we want to provide at Park Hyatt Auckland. And that's in regarding to the business levels. We're very seasonal. So high occupancies over Q4, Q1. Then we drop down to the winter period where it's a bit softer. So it's getting that right balance between managing the business, providing the service, and looking after my colleagues. I'm a firm believer that happy colleagues produce happy guests. So if I've got happy staff, I've got 300 staff who work at this hotel. So if we've got happy staff, they'll go that extra step to make my guest experience pleasing. And that's very important to me as well. And literally myself, I treat them all as my family. I park cars on the driveway. I clear plates when I walk through food and beverage outlets if it is busy. And that gives me great satisfaction as well to connect to the team and really work with them to provide what we need to provide at the hotel.
Amazing. And what about your own travels? Do you get to travel much? Where do you like to go? And do you always travel in luxury?
Yeah, no, very good question. It's traveling in luxury. I sometimes like to escape luxury, to be honest with you. Look, I am very lucky because I get to stay at a lot of Hyatt hotels, obviously. But I do like traveling and not being recognised too much and not being fussed around. I just want to go there and relax. We do travel a lot, and particularly when I was in Dubai, I was very fortunate to travel right throughout Europe and into the Middle East period there as well. I do like Southeast Asia. I do like that whole Singapore, Hong Kong vibe. I know it's very busy and very full on sometimes, but I do like that environment. I love the food there. And if I go to any country, even with my family, we always go to a hawker market or we'll go off away from the touristy area and really experience what a city is truly all about. So Southeast Asia is probably my favorite in terms of travel.
I can totally understand that. And in terms of moving, are you settled in Auckland now? I mean, your daughters are getting older. Do you have aspirations to move again?
Yeah, look, it's all about opportunities with hospitality and what comes along. So my youngest one's got one more year of school left. So Auckland will be the place for the next 12 months till she finishes schooling, and then we'll see what happens, see what comes about, and see. My family is very understanding. My wife is very understanding. When I said to her 15 years ago I was going to Dubai, she was like, "We're going to Dubai? Where?" So
that would have been a real culture shock.
Oh, totally. But it
back then.
makes us stronger and it opens us to the rest of the world. So look, we'll see what happens along the way. And as I said, I'm very lucky. I've had some beautiful hotels and it gives me a lot of satisfaction day to day.
And is Park Hyatt expanding at the moment? Have they got some new hotels there opening?
Yeah, so in terms of New Zealand, we're looking for some opportunities to open maybe down the South Island if things were to this. So South Island would be a nice focus for it. But Park Hyatt globally is expanding. We've obviously got our London property, which is opening towards the end of the year, which is very exciting for the brand.
Where is it? Where is it in London?
I don't know the exact location there, Renee, but I've seen some images and I've seen the renders and it looks amazing property. It's great to have a luxury hotel back into that London market.
100%. Well, it's interesting because Paris and London are kind of head to head in terms of being the luxury capital, hotel capital of the world. I think London is still, probably still hanging on to that crown. So, it'll be really exciting. I love London.
No, it's once again, very buzzy city. There's plenty to offer there. It suits all budgets and all purposes of people. So great cities. I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. And do you miss Melbourne?
I do miss Melbourne. I'm an avid Richmond Tigers
Right.
supporter in the AFL. So I still watch them every day. They're not performing too well, but I still watch them every week and see how they're going. So I miss Melbourne. Yeah, I miss Melbourne for the sport. I miss Melbourne
Yes.
for the culture as well and the restaurant scene. And there's always something happening in Melbourne.
Yeah, and I think that Australia has quite a masculine culture in terms of the sport. I mean, Melbourne's really at the heart of it, you know, certainly in terms of AFL, because of course it's where the sport started in Australia. So
definitely.
Yeah, I
no,
can
it is.
understand.
And look, New Zealand's rugby, there's sailing here. So I do follow those sports now as well. And I really embrace the environment. I think Auckland is a differential and a benefit to Melbourne is the waterfront location. Everything's on water. I bought myself a paddleboard.
Beautiful.
On the weekends in summer, we'll go stand up paddleboarding and
Gorgeous.
try that. But it's all about embracing the environment when you're living into it and enjoying that city. So I'm definitely doing that.
100%. And look, before we go, Brett, we ask all of our guests where to from here, and you can tell us what you're doing for the rest of the day, your next project, or even your next holiday. So where to from here for you?
Excellent. So we have a busy day. We've got 300 people on the event floor today. They're doing a conferencing. Hotel, we'll probably have about 55 arrivals through the hotel this afternoon. So I'll be there. I've got 2 meet and greets this afternoon. So they're people from overseas who are traveling quite high end within corporate companies through there as well. So I'll have some lunch, meet with my team, meet those VIP guests, and just check in with the team. It always gets to around 6 p.m. and I'll do a few laps of the hotel to see if everyone's in a good position as we move into that dinner period, high arrivals coming through. So having a lot of presence in the lobby area is very important through there as well. So I try not to get too bogged down in meetings. It's about being available for our guests. It's about being available for our colleagues and helping along the way. So that's generally how my afternoon would pan out on a standard day, to be honest with you. So it's exciting. I enjoy it.
Sounds fabulous. Well, look, I can't wait to stay at the hotel and see the hotel next week and to meet you, which will be absolutely wonderful.
We look forward to welcoming you. That's amazing. It's great, Renae.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. I know how busy you are. We really appreciate it and look forward to seeing you soon.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Great talking to you.
Lovely to meet you. Good to talk to you too. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe here and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for regular travel updates. You can also hear our episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.